Hello everyone, it's Viceroy again, and with another top 10. This time it's going to be the top 10 mechs. For this list, I'm going to make it easy. It's mechs from video games and a few from animations. Let's begin. Number 10 on the list is actually one of the adorable ones on here, and it's Chibi Robo. He's actually from his own little game from Nintendo, and apparently Nintendo made 3 games with this little guy, although I haven't played the other 2. I did play the one for the GameCube, and I remember this little guy just being so much fun. The only objective in the game, though, was just to clean the house. And you're the size of a toy soldier, so you're going to probably understand how difficult that can be. But it was fun. I mean, moving around the whole house, finding ways to get across us and on top of everything. It was so much fun, and finding all the little equipments. Maybe in a chore, but it was a fun chore. And plus, I'm just so adorable. Look at those eyes. Look at that head. It's just too adorable. Number 9 goes to the Wanzers from Full Front Mission. Now, the Front Mission Evolved games, my bad, just Full Front games in general, are a series of games that revolve around the Wanzers. The Wanzers being mechs that you can customize in any way you wish. Now, for the mechs themselves, you can customize their arms, their legs, their chest, and their head, even the ordnance that they carry. I'm a huge buff when it comes to customization, and I love how you can always customize mechs like this. I do have my own personal sets, but my personal favorite is always going with a sniper rifle and a 4-legged. It works, trust me on that. One thing you never want to do when it comes to these games, never take the idea of going full frontal. It gets you killed easily. I know that from experience, sadly. Number 8 goes to the nostalgic Blue Bomber Mega Man himself. Now, the Blue Bomber being the first original Mega Man, not the other derivatives, because he is Machine in the first time. There are others that do have him as Machine, and there's one where he's actually Data. But the original Mega Man was Machine, because in quotations, you have to fight 8 robot masters, and your character is a robot. So it balanced itself out with all the things you can do as Mega Man, and all the quests. It just kind of was tedious when the game came out, because it always was the same thing. Go through a certain levels, stages, fight a mini-boss, then fight the actual boss, get the power-up, rinse, lather, and repeat. But that's what made the game fun. It didn't really need a change. Well, if you include Anti-Warrior. Number 7 goes to the Geth. The Geth are from Mass Effect's universe, and they are a supreme intelligent being aside from the Reapers. They are also machines that are also organic in nature, so they kind of count as 2 things. But the Geth are all entirely machine, able to adapt, react, and be able to pretty much decimate the opponent within minutes. There are several different varieties of Geth, but the Geth that I really like the most are practically the engineers, because they're just a simple design and they just plain look cool. Also, never be caught between 2 juggernauts when you're playing. And the juggernauts, I mean the commanders in the story mode, because they'll just kill you if you play on hard mode. Trust me, it was not a pleasant experience for anyone. Number 6 goes to Rob. Rob is actually, funny enough, he is a Nintendo brand character, but he is actually a console when he first came out. He wasn't really a game himself, but he was actually a console-built character. He was practically a toy that you can use for the console itself, and actually was his own system. The fact that they used him for the game of Smash Brothers and a couple of other Nintendo games he made prior airings to, made him a really fun character to use. I personally like using this little guy in Melee and Brawl. My bad, just Brawl in general, because he didn't appear in Melee. Can't believe I made that mistake. But Rob's a fun character, and I really like how they brought him out in Brawl. Also, give props to the spin. That spin is annoying to everybody. I should know. Number 5 goes to the Egg Dragoon. This one is from the Sonic universe, and I freaking love the battle against this thing. It's an actual good fight for the 3D Sonic games. One of my favorite battles, to be honest, as well. The Egg Dragoon is equipped with many things. A giant blasting cannon, a drill, and not to mention all the segments can attack you with any variety of attacks. So you have to be aware of all 3 segments. But just as you have to be aware of all 3 segments, you can actually hit all 3 segments. But in the in-game, it kinda gets difficult depending on who you play as. You're either playing as Where Sonic or regular Sonic. But in Sonic Generations, you only play as regular Sonic, and that battle has its moments of getting a little ridiculous. Especially on hard mode. Screw you. Number 4 comes from Zoids, and it's my personal favorite out of the bunch. It is actually the Berserk Fury. One of the 2 other Zoids in this series that actually has a built-in system called the Organoid system, which is a system that allows any unit that's equipped to it the ability to learn and adapt on its own. So it's like these things are actually living on their own terms. The Berserk Fury is higher on this list is because of this factor. And the worst part is when this thing got fully armorized, it got armorized with very devastating weapons. Not only is the armor highly dense, but it's also by far one of the most powerful units in the entire series, second to the Genosaurus. The only thing that actually really beat him was the Liger Zero, and that was out of sheer luck, and in my opinion, it was out of charity. Number 3 goes to the Cybertronian known as Triptykon from the Transformer series. Mainly enough, I like the version from him and from War of Cybertron. The model of him was amazing, and I really loved how they brought him out. Fleshed him out too, in a sense. But the battle against him was really well done. It wasn't cheap, it wasn't overpowered. He was actually a good fight. If you like standing around and avoiding everything every 5 seconds, but he was really fleshed out in this game, and I really liked him for that. Not to mention, when you're first introduced to this guy, you actually fly in him. He's actually a giant satellite cannon trying to destroy Cybertron from a distance. Well, mainly the Autobot city, but who's counting? Number 2 goes to my favorite unit in Gundam, well, one of my many favorites, the Sazabi. Manned and controlled by Char Aznavour himself, the Sazabi is by far one of my favorite units because it's so well equipped and armed. Equipped it with a shield, a blaster shield, I can't remember the name of the gun, he has 2 swords, even a sword axe. The shield can launch mini rockets, and the thrusters on his back can launch little drones called funnels. The funnels are adapted to the mind to anyone who uses them, but can only be used by those known as new types. The funnels can be really annoying if you're fighting against him. And if you're using him, the funnels are your best ally, because not only are they destructive, but they are lethal. The Sazabi is one of my favorite units because it was one of the hallmarks to me. Just a cool color and a cool warrior. Number 1 has to go to my favorite game for mechs. It is the White Glint from Armored Core 4 Answer. The White Glint model unit is by far one of the dangerous machines that are in the game. One of the few units that I know and have to actually fear here in one-on-one combat. Just because if you get too close, the White Glint can actually devastate right through your shielding and right through your armor plating. And if you're really not careful, she'll one-shot you with that armor core blast. That is very annoying. Even though it gives you an opportunity to kill her herself, you may not want to go with close range. Mid-range, she's worse. Long range, you may actually have a chance. But just be warned, don't make it easy. Well, that's it for the video.